But now let's bring in tonight's panel, Daily Telegraph journalist James Willis and Sky News contributor Joe Hildebrand. Welcome to you both. Look, let's start with the ACCC decision here today, the legal action against the supermarkets. Joe, we've all been sceptical about the discount prices, and everyone who does any grocery shops, I don't want to just say it's the mothers and the women out there, but particularly the mothers, at least in my family, I do the grocery shop, and it's very obvious that the prices over the past couple of years have risen dramatically. But Joe, if the ACCC case is accurate, then this is pretty outrageous.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I do all the shopping in my family. I'm absolutely fastidious about it. I love my flybys. I watch every dollar. I watch every price movement. And I have been quite sceptical about these prices. You know, price dropped and locked, says the sticker. And it seemed to me strangely high. And even I, in my sort of conspiratorial rabbit warren, didn't quite figure out what these guys are actually doing. So this notion that they would artificially hike the price by, say, for example, you know, $1.50 for a couple of weeks, and then drop the price by 50 cents. Hence, of course, making it a price rise of $1 on a product that might be $3 or $4, and then say the price has been dropped, citing the previous high price, which was artificially inflated, just so they could then say that the price has gone down. And this, to me, is a sort of industrial scale gaslighting of consumers. I'm not someone who just sort of sets and forget. I'm someone who watches every single price. I'm as worried about the cost of living as anyone else. I've got interest rates up the wazoo and price hikes up the wazoo. And I think this is a really disgraceful betrayal of trust of Coles and Woolies shoppers, of which I am a very enthusiastic one.
Yeah, indeed. And I think it is good to know that the ACCC is being so active and aggressive with this, James. But do you agree with what I had to say there about the Prime Minister taking full political advantage of this? And he even made a comment that it was the supermarkets in part pushing up inflation.
Absolutely, and we should be very cautious and take everything that we hear from the ACCC with a grain of salt. They have a history of being a bit of a toothless tiger. We heard recently with the Qantas stuff, the ACCC boss saying, we're going for a record punishment. We are going to go after Qantas. This is industrial scale, yada, yada, yada. And in the end, it kind of fizzled out and we got a result, but it wasn't as big as what we thought. So I'm always sceptical of what I do hear from the ACCC. The wider issue for Labor and the Prime Minister is that, yes, Coles and Woolworths are big business, but the cost of every business in this country has gone through the roof in recent times. Energy is driving that, big issues with the IR laws and a number of other things that are having a really big impact on business and their margins and their profits and everything else. Now, I'm not going to bat for Coles and Woolworths here. I think what we've heard today is very serious, but the wider issue for the Prime Minister right now that you are hearing and you are seeing in the polls is that businesses are doing it tough and people blame Labor for the cost of living crisis that we are seeing. And
they do that because the Prime Minister promised before the last election that he would be able to fix the cost of living crisis, that he would make life more affordable. Instead, everything has, of course, gone up since then. So he did take ownership of that problem politically.